Welcome, friends, and Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whichever holiday you decide to celebrate. Today we are starting Pack 2 of the Build Your Own DeLorean. As you can see in front of me, I have the next 3 stages. This video has been a long time coming, and that is due to the fact that I have had a lot of work recently, and I have not been feeling well. I am feeling much better now, so I decided to get some content made, and I wanted to make sure that I got at least one video out for you by Christmas. We are going to need to make sure this washer goes in a safe place. Now, I will give you a heads up. I do have a lot of car build content that is going to be coming your way, as I currently have sitting here roughly 28 stages between the DeLorean, the Supra, and the Skyline. Now, I'm just going to check this tire. It's kind of stiff, so we may need hot water for it, and if we do, I may need to pause the recording because I do not have a bowl of hot water ready. But we are going to try. This stage is quite simple. It is literally just the rim and tire. And if you can see from the camera, the 2 rim parts have a specific pattern. We only have one type of bolt or screw, and that is your BP screw. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cut open. So that we have everything out that we need. And what I am going to do is I'm going to put on my magnifying glasses, which give me a little bit extra light, because what I want to see is the tread pattern. And I'm looking, and the tread they show on the assembly instructions is not the tread on this tire. So, it looks like I can do this whichever way I would like to. So we're going to take the big metal part of the rim and try pushing it into the tire. And that is a very, very tight fit. But it went in. So now we're going to take our front of the rim, which is plastic, and we are going to match up the lugs on the other side. Which, unfortunately, they seem to look a little offset. And we are going to load up a BP screw. And see how we get along with getting these threaded in. That did not want to go in at all. Okay, that one bit. So we have one BP screw started. This one is biting, so that's good. Now let's see if we can get the third to bite. And the third one is biting. These screws are going into plastic again, so just tighten them till you feel a little bit of tension. And then I'm going to take this BP screw and drop it in with the rest. And there's our first wheel of the DeLorean. I will bring over stage 2 or stage 4 and ask you to give me a moment as I pull up the assembly instructions for stage 4. Now, this is the reactor for the back of the car. I do not have any intention of using the Mr. Fusion part of the reactor, as I have a Lego time machine that already has the Mr. Fusion on it. And I would like these two cars to be a little bit different. So, with that being said, and having the assembly instructions pulled up, I'm going to gently pull the top of this off and discard it. Now we have a bunch of AP screws. We have some very tiny CP screws. And we have a couple of very, very tiny springs. Looking at the assembly instructions for this first part, we need this yellow piece. We are going to need this piece. And we are going to need this piece. I will move this blister pack out of the way. And then it says to take this part, which would be 4B, and take the yellow part, which is 4C, and to fit them together, there is a little pin on the yellow part. So you need to make sure that that pin is lined up. And for me, it didn't line up. There we go. And then it says to turn 4C clockwise so that it locks into position. In my case, I had to turn it counterclockwise. But we currently have that together like that. Now with the AP screws, let's see if I have any open. I do not. So we are going to go ahead and cut this bag of AP screws open. We are going to need 2 AP screws to start. And we're going to take this part we just created and place it on top of this part. Now you're going to want to place it to where the 2 furthest holes are across from one another. And to ensure that, there is a locating pin. So we'll put that locating pin into position. And we will load up an AP screw. We'll get the AP screw started so that it holds our piece in place. And we'll get the second AP screw loaded up. Bear with me here as I find the hole to screw into. And there we go. Those are in place. Now the next step shows taking this piece, which does have a little indent in it, and the indent is to be facing upward. I can see my model is a little different than the instructions shown, but that is okay. We are going to be using 2 more AP screws. To hold this in place. And all they decided to call this clear piece that I am putting on is a transparent reactor component. Screw number 1 is snugged up. And now screw number 2 is snugged up. And that is what we have so far. The next step, though I won't be using it, is to build the Mr. Fusion reactor. So we will pull the parts. Just these 2 parts themselves are the next step. They are 4M and 4J. They are going to sit together like this. And once again, 3 more AP screws. We'll hold this reactor together. And we will just get the screws started and we will come back and tighten them down. Okay. So, step 2 of the Mr. Fusion reactor. We need this clear piece. And this piece. And from what it is showing, these two pieces just push together. There is a flat side. So you will just line up the flat side. So there is no actual clicking from what I can tell. So you'll take this chamber and push that into place in the Mr. Fusion reactor. And then you will need this other clear piece, which, looking at it, does not look like it has any specific way it goes on top. So we will just go ahead and push that into place. And that's that portion of the Mr. Fusion reactor complete. So now we need this black ring. We need that white top. Essentially everything that is left in this blister pack, we are going to need to get out. So these are our remaining parts. We are going to set this metal base off to the side for the moment. And then with the white cap and our black base here, I don't know if you can see it, but on this end, there is a little bit that sticks out. You're going to want that pointed down and to the outside. This is going to fit in here. And once again, we will be using AP screws. And I think this is possibly where the online instruction may have messed up. No, the AP screw is going in there. Okay, so let's get it started on the other side. That's snugged into place. That is snugged into place. And it can still move as it is a hinge. Now they want us to take this ring, which on this side has a small hole for a screw to attach it. And we are going to put that one with the single screw hole facing that hinge we just created. And once again, an AP screw. Is what is called for. To put this lid in place. So that is in place. Now it wants us to secure the Mr. Fusion reactor to the lid. And this reactor has a locating pin in the front, so it can only go on one way. So we open the lid, put the reactor on, and once again with an AP screw, we are going to go ahead and screw this reactor into place. Sometimes having an extra set of hands would be helpful. And just like that, the Mr. Fusion reactor top is in place. So now we need our red clasp here and our black piece, and we are going to need the very tiny CP screws. I am going to go ahead and put these AP screws into my box so that the screws do not get mixed up. So, according to the instructions, we need to hold this red clasp like this, and the black part of the hinge is going to be going into it like that. And it is going to be held together with 2 CP screws, one to either side. Now, I have been watching some other part work builders, and the World of Wayne suggested to do this a different way to make things easier. And that involves, I believe, gluing the springs to the 2 red pegs at the bottom there. Well, we are going to need another AP screw. So I will go ahead and get that out. Okay, we need to back up a step because I put this on incorrectly. I actually put this in upside down. But this is one of the things I do like about how I've structured my channel. And Mr. World of Wayne, if you end up watching this, I know you'll agree. We both like to leave our mistakes in, so that in hopes that any future builders will not make the same mistakes that we make. Okay, so that is tight. That is tight. Possibly a little too tight. So let's go ahead and back some tension off of this. There we go. So now, the next stage actually shows mounting this, but I am going to go away from the instructions a little bit. I am not going to do as Wayne would do and glue the springs in place, but I am going to put the springs in. And they are secured in place with CP screws. This is where a set of tweezers would really come in handy. And we have liftoff. Well, we have a spring that decided it did not want to go into place. I will have to look for that. Alright, well, until I get some tweezers, I am going to skip the step with the springs. I do know that I have tweezers either coming or may possibly already be here with one of the Skyline packs. And if I do, then I will put those springs in once I find the one that went flying. But with that, we are going to take our AP screw and we are going to put this in place. Hmm. Alright. The AP screw did not want to go into the hole. And I am trying to use the locating pin. There we go. It feels like she's biting this time. She did indeed bite. So that is that part of the Mr. Fusion reactor completed. And now it wants us to attach it to the base. And this is going to be done with 3 AP screws. So we're going to take this base. The reactor is going to be facing this way with the red clasp facing towards the back. It's going to sit in the middle. And from underneath with 3 AP screws, we are going to secure the reactor into place. And with that, that is all there is to do in that stage. Once again, once I get a set of tweezers, I will put the springs in place on this, but I will have to find another spring. So, we still have one more stage to go, which is stage 5, and that is suspension. Let's go ahead and get this pack cut open. And if you will give me a moment, I will get the stage assembly instructions brought up. Now, as I have learned from World of Wayne's channel, you do want to check to make sure none of the screws have managed to make their way into those. I will move what we currently have completed out of the way. So we can get our new blister pack here opened. And we are dealing with AM screws, AP screws, DM screws, DP screws, BM screws, CM screws, and EM screws. So we were working on the front left suspension. And I am going to go ahead and just pull all these parts out. And most of these are metal. Okay, that blister pack is empty. So, according to the instructions, we are starting with AM screws. So I'm going to go ahead and get the AM screws cut open. And I will find a slot in my box for the bag for the AM screws. Now we need this part, which in a real car, this part would be integrated into your wheel well. It would be part of your inner wheel well structure, because your spring for your strut would sit right in this cap. We are also going to need this, which would be the equivalent, I am guessing on the DeLorean, as a lower control arm. As you can see, you have a recessed side, and then you have the flat side. We want the flat side facing up. With an AM screw loaded in place, okay, so this is going to slide up and down where it's going in. We are going to dunk that in a little bit of oil. And I am going to set this on its side. And we're going to load up our second AM screw. They only gave us 3, so I am guessing we are done with AM screws after this. The pictures do show the lower control arm sitting at the base. With that in place, next we need the BM screws. Once again, it looks like they only gave us 3. Then we need this rod, which is going to go up the center here. And you may have to push it into place from underneath. And from each side, we are going to be threading in a BM screw. And it's always a good thing to check underneath. To make sure that you are lined up. That one is biting. I can already feel this one biting. Okay, that step is done. Now we need to take 5E, which is the spring, and slide it into place on there. Then we need to slide both of those into position here. Then we need an EM screw. which, as the world of Wayne affectionately likes to call them, flanged screws. And I think I will adopt that from him. So I just compressed the two together to make it easier to feed the EM screw into the top of the strut bar. And with that, that is that step complete. Now we need our CM screws. And this part, which is going to be our upper control arm. So your CM screws are fairly long. Let's go ahead and get one loaded up. And it is going to go to either side of the top of this tower. I'm going to have to back this off a little bit because my part is not aligned properly. So it's biting now. Okay, with that in position, we need our DM screws. They gave us 4 DM screws. We need our left front steering knuckle. And with this piece facing towards the back, we're going to be installing it here with 2 DM screws. One goes in from the top. And let's get the one from the bottom started. That is in place. We still have 2 DM screws remaining. So I'm going to set them off to the side. Now we need our DP screws. Which are more flanged screws. We need this little bushing like thing and this spring, which is going to sit on it, and then we need our brake dust shield, and this is going to sit in the larger cavity. With the DP screw holding it in place. Okay, so that is in place. So our next step is going to be taking the back of this brake caliper and putting it in place with an AP screw. I already have some open, so I am not opening the pack that came with this stage. And the caliper itself is held into place with 2 locating pins and this screw. So according to the picture, this is supposed to be sitting flush. Well, it's still not quite flush, but I will get it situated before the next video. And then we need a DM screw. Which is going to be one of these. And we are going to be attaching this assembly to the left hub. Well, I did not expect this to fight with me the way it is. And that is our first hub assembly done. This screw does still need some tightening up. So, for pack 2, we did our left front suspension, we did a wheel, and we did our reactor for the DeLorean. I think we did a pretty good job. With that, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and share these videos. I very much appreciate it. Once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you may celebrate, and have a good day.